It does help if you press the live button. I have found that.
So
Yes.
weird. All right, it says we're live. I am gonna have to wait to mute myself, so hopefully that'll be over soon. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm not staring off into space, I swear. I'm looking at the chat.
Yes.
There we are. I had to sit through an ad first. So
I also have an ad.
I just muted the site. I did a site mute.
You know, it works when I'm on Chrome. My silly MacBook, Safari sometimes does have a mute option and sometimes it does not. And I haven't figured out what I need to get it to be there all the time. Hi, Love Journals. Seeing people say hello to us. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. 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 I just love this StreamYard feature so much.
I know. I love that you can just like click people, click people, click people, click people.
Woo, woo, woo. All right. Well, today, Jess and I are talking about our weird NaNoWRIMO hacks / tips and tricks we've learned over the years. Between us, Jess and I have participated in NaNoWRIMO and all of the camps a lot. I'm not going to put a number on it. It's a lot.
You started like in middle school and I started in high school, so it's been a long time.
Yes. So, you know, many years, long time. So we have a lot of both successes in various ways and failures in various ways, but I think we've both learned a lot of tricks that kind of help mentality-wise over the course of November. So that's what we're going to talk about. There will not be any sprints. Unfortunately, we're so sorry, but I think someone's going to be doing a sprint somewhere. I feel like that is the new Authortube way. Hi, baby!
Hi, baby!
Oh my gosh, 1 a.m. in Melbourne. All right.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you know what? You're right, because that's what
Emily said.
Emily said. She was like, I was so excited for your chat, and then I realized it was at 1 o'clock in the morning, not 1 in the afternoon. I mean, you know, we're just trying to hit different times for different people, and it feels like every live right now has been on a weekday evening. So we tried to do a weekend morning.
We're switching it up.
Just change things up.
But thank you, Charlotte, for joining us at 1 a.m.
Yes, thank you.
We have, I have my NaNoWRIMO mug. I know Jess has a very wonderful mug and spoon. Yes.
My little kitty cat spoon.
So let us know what y'all are eating or drinking or whatever, and we will kind of just jump right in. So I did post over on Instagram one of my hacks already, which is that when I'm writing, sometimes, especially when I'm zero drafting or first drafting, I want to go back and reread what I've done. But oftentimes during NaNoWRIMO, you really have limited time to get the words in. And the problem with NaNoWRIMO is that you can fall behind really easily. So rather than use my time rereading or editing the words, I changed my font to white. And then that way I have the words, everything's there. I just can't as easily see it. It's kind of like I have to put barriers up for myself, not to change stuff. And so I put the barriers up, and that way it's the focus is on the writing rather than anything else. And I think that helps me to move more quickly during November, when it really is, the point is to move quickly, I guess.
The point is to move quickly but efficiently.
Yeah. Ideally, you're going to have done prep. Well, I don't know. I've pantsed so many years, but ideally you do some of the as we see the plethora of Preptober videos.
I don't think that I have released a single Preptober video because I'm doing zero prep. So,
and I think that's great. See, this is what we're going to have a good dynamic here today, you guys. I mean, besides Jess and I always having a great dynamic, but
we're awesome.
We're amazing.
Oh, someone said it's their birthday.
Happy birthday. Is it Christina?
Yep, Christina. Happy birthday, Christina.
Happy birthday, Christina. That's so exciting.
Like, I lost it, but someone said it was their birthday.
Someone said. I'm seeing a lot of really delicious foods here too. Some ginger beer and cheese and garlic pizza sounds.
Where's my cheese and garlic? Like, I know that it's 10 o'clock in the morning, but where's my cheese and garlic pizza?
I was gonna say I have one more piece of toast, but like I think I'd rather have cheese and garlic pizza.
I ended up finding blueberry waffles in the strangeness that is my freezer.
Yes.
So I had blueberry waffles instead of toast, but
those are my favorite kind of waffles though. Are they the Eggo blueberry waffles?
Yeah.
They're the best waffles.
I like them like for mornings when I'm in a hurry and I have to go to work because I feel like they're sweet enough that I don't need syrup and I can just like throw butter on them and eat them in the car on the way to work.
Yes, I've even gotten to the point where I sometimes don't even put butter on them. I just eat them without, and it works. So yeah, they're the best.
Right. Just like, I have places to be.
We got strawberry Pop-Tart action over here.
Those are my favorite Pop-Tart too. I haven't had one in probably 10 years, but
I was walking down like the cereal aisle the other day and I saw like Hostess now has cereal and there's like 20 extra flavors of Pop-Tarts I didn't know existed and I was like, I'm missing out on the world. So
I've seen some weird Pop-Tart flavors, which was like my best friend's husband likes to explore with his Pop-Tarts. So like I'll be in the cabinet at their house and I'm like, that's a Pop-Tart flavor? Okay. Weird.
Oh.
Okay.
Maria asks, on the flip side, what will your characters be eating? Jessica?
Well, in one of my stories, which story is that? Because I'm working on 3 during Nano, because I'm rebelling hardcore. One of the main characters, his family owns a bookstore and a coffee shop together, because that's, you know, the dream for everybody. So that's like their group hangout after school is to like go and have coffee at the family coffee shop. So I don't know that they'll be eating. I mean, they'll probably be eating like bakery treats a lot. Maybe some blueberry muffins with like the crunchy stuff on the top.
That's amazing. This is how I feel about fantasy books versus like contemporary, because fantasy books, I really love getting to like explore some of the foods more that are like kind of made up, but also amazing. But then contemporary books, I'm like, when they talk about like a cinnamon scone or something, I'm just like, my mouth is salivating because I know exactly what that is and I want it.
It sounds delicious.
It sounds amazing.
I have like one of the ones I'm not working on right now, but my high fantasy, I like in my journey to try to create a bigger world, I've invented a fruit that's purple and bumpy, like spiny, and they're called calabras.
Ooh. So. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Fruit.
Yeah, Project Death has things like, you know, donkeys and like other animals that we know of, but then I am like kind of making up some foods and fruits. Like, I don't know where the line is that I'm doing stuff. I might have to go back and just be like, make up everything, which could be fun. But yeah, so I have a weird mixture of made up stuff and real stuff.
My high fantasy is the same, like new things and old things, because it's not an entirely different world necessarily. Yeah. It's not a completely different universe. And I feel like when you create an entire new universe where everything is different, it's too hard for the reader to connect.
It can be overwhelming. Yeah. That makes me feel a little bit better also. Oh my God.
I mean, how do you write something where like, you know, dirt's not dirt, it's called something else, and trees are called something else? And I would be so confused. I would be like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, this is too much. That it would feel like you're reading a different language at that point. So
right. And I struggle enough with that. I don't need help.
I have tried for years to get Spanish down and I can't even do that. So yeah, Mary's pumpkin muffin with cream cheese frosting. This amazing.
I am not a pumpkin fan, but I make a pumpkin cupcake.
Okay.
By request of like people that I worked with when I worked at the restaurant, I used to make like cupcakes and cookies and stuff on days we knew it was going to be really busy because you'd be there for like a 16-hour shift and not have time to eat.
Yeah.
So like I would make snacks and like put them in the break room so people could just like grab a snack and eat. And they were like, we want something pumpkin-y. And I was like, I don't like pumpkin, but okay. Pumpkin cupcakes. Really good. It's literally just like white cake mix and pureed pumpkin and pumpkin pie spice.
Sounds so good though.
It's delicious.
I am one of those people, but I really do love pumpkin. I wish pumpkin was more year-round though. I think my obsession with it is partially solely because other than if I make it, I can't get it anywhere.
Right, which is
weird. And I don't approve of that. I don't like that we've put a stop to, I mean, I love fall, but like, let me have pumpkin year-round, please.
Well, they do it because it makes people have to have it like every day. Where if you could have it all the time, you wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
So.
Which kind of, I mean, as someone who loves NaNoWRIMO, but it does remind me of NaNoWRIMO, circle back around to the chat. But like, because it's a one-time-a-year thing, I think our ability to push through certain stuff that we don't the rest of the year, like even as someone who writes full-time, I don't write the same crazy way during NaNoWRIMO as I do the rest of the year.
It's definitely different for me because I probably don't write 50,000 words the entire rest of the year put together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've never hit 50,000, but I've hit like 35 or 40. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Though, according to looking back at like my list of things on the Nano website, it says in like 2013 I hit 50,000, and I don't remember that. So maybe I did. I don't know.
So I have two accounts. I switched over to this new account probably around when I made my Authortube channel, but I had this old account, so I went on there and looked up how I did, and that was a trip because I kind of remembered how I'd done certain years, but other years I was like, oh ho, I did better than I thought. So I almost wonder if, I mean, I don't know why it would be weird some years and not the others. I guess I'd just forgotten. I just forgot.
Right. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. I love that I can't find like my quick link for NaNoWRIMO, but I just click on the one that for camp that's pulled up. I'm like, ta-da, I'm still at the same place.
Perfect. I know. I do appreciate that they're putting it all together now.
I do want to like write them a letter about this 30-day consecutive badge though. Like we all need to get together and write them letters and be like, where's my badge for my 30 days?
Please bring it back. I think it's interesting that they took that one away, but still have some going up to like 20 days or something.
21. Like, why even bother having up to 21 days if you're not going to have the one for 30 days?
Yeah. I got questions.
You're dumb. I don't understand the logic behind that.
I don't either. Also, I'm going to pull this question up from Phoebe. She asks, do you know your live sprint schedule for Nano yet? I'm trying to plan ahead. And I figured this is perfect because, Jess, you're kind of debating some live streamy stuff. You're like, I don't know my live stream schedule. I'm going to be doing daily videos. And I'm saying it that way because last year I did daily vlogs. And my hope is that they will mostly be vlogs this year. But when I think I'll do random days that will be just a live stream or a live sprint. And then with a vlog, I don't know. I don't know yet. So no, I have no idea what my schedule is. I think a lot of it will be like decided day of randomly.
For those of you who are not, shameless self-plug, on my Twitter, I have been doing like a schedule every week for all of the write-ins that I know about. And it's totally editable by editable.
You got it.
Anyone who would like to can edit it. So if you are hosting your own live stream and I don't know about it for some strange reason and you want to add it on there, you absolutely can. And that stays pinned on the top of my Twitter account for the week. And then the next week you get a new one. So if you are looking for live streams, I am trying to keep track of those as much as I can. And I may continue doing that after camp. I've been doing it this month because there've been a lot. And some weeks there's only like one that I know about, but some weeks, like I think this week there's like 4 or 5 on there. So
yeah, oh my gosh. This is, man, I don't use Twitter anymore, but that makes me think that I should get, is there a way I could just follow your feed? Like, I don't want the rest of the site. I don't want the rest of the app. I just want Jess to be pulled up. Just you.
I don't know if you could do that, but you could. I mean, did you delete the app completely from your phone?
I still technically have it, but I put it in a place that it's harder for me to get to.
Because you could just like put an alert on my tweets.
I'd be like, show me when Jess.
Show me when Jess tweets weird things.
Sorry. I did not mean to click on that one. Can both of you give us any idea what to ask ourselves while we're revising our NaNoWRIMO novel? I'm on the revising stage at the moment, and I don't know what to do. Oh, man. I'm not quite revising, I guess. I'm attempting the first draft. It depends. Have you had some space from it? Is my question one. Have you like reread it in full? And then I would just kind of try and, I know some people swear by like the beat sheets or anything like that, but I would just try and like kind of replot out your novel so that you know what you still want to have happen and what you need to add or get rid of to like be closer to the idea you have of your novel now. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I do, is I just think about it, what I want it to be, where it's at, and how I can make it closer to what I want it to be.
From one to the other.
Yeah.
That is like one of the Queen, Susan Dennard. That's one of her like big pieces of advice is like before you go into revising your story, you need to know what kind of a story you're hoping to write. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what you're hoping to write, because some of us don't, like some of us just have an idea and we write the idea out and go from there. One thing you can do is go think about like some of your favorite books and take out points about those that are your like what makes you like that book, what makes it your favorite book, and then you can take that and kind of gauge what you're wanting from your story to make it to get to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I like that.
Because sometimes you're just like, I mean, I have stories that I'm just writing because like I had an idea and it sounded cool, but I don't know like what kind of theme I want or what the moral of the story is supposed to be or anything like that. So you start writing it and then you're like, okay, but I need to like find something to bring this together. So what do I want?
Yes. I often start out my writing in my novels doing that thing where I just have an idea and I just want to write it. And so I just kind of go there. It's in the revision stage actually that I kind of piece together or affirm what kind of story I'm trying to tell. Usually it comes to me as I'm writing, like Project Death. I realized as I was writing it, something that I haven't really talked about, but something that the theme for me writing it, I'm kind of, exploring within the novel. So as I'm doing the revision, I'm making sure I'm laying that more in there. I'm doing X or Y or Z to get it more and more. So yeah, I think that's great. Yay for Queen Susan Dennard. Let's see. Do we want to talk about any other quick hacks? Does anybody have any quick hacks that they use? I have a little list of mine.
I had like 2 that you hadn't already discussed with me, so I'm not real genius, but I try.
Well, perfect. You want to throw them out there?
Well, one thing that I think I'll say helps in a way. One thing that has helped me in the past is, and it is a weird thing because like I don't typically recommend that you write stream of consciousness because you tend to have to edit that and a lot of times like you get nothing. So like if you ever see someone who does like 1 million words in the month of November,
yes,
it is typically that they're doing like a stream of consciousness type writing, which is where you're just, to me it's like exploratory. Mm-hmm. So what I do with that is if I'm at a place in the book where I don't know what I want to happen, rather than skipping it and going to the next part to get more words, I will do a stream of consciousness because you get words that way and you're helping the story progress. Now, Is it going to be words that you're going to be able to count later towards the final draft? No. But especially if you're behind, it helps you and it makes you not feel like a failure. Mm-hmm. Like those of us who don't reach the 50,000 words, and then you're like, you see everyone around you reaching it, and you're like, man, I wish that I was doing something so that I could reach that. And sometimes I think a stream of consciousness where you're trying to figure out what works in your story helps you get your words up, helps you make your story progress. It's not going to be words you can use later on. It's not going to be actual part of the draft. But I am a firm believer that any work that you do in the month that's actual words on a page should count.
I think so too. And I also agree with you on the mindset thing, because especially early on, because NaNoWRIMO really is a marathon in a lot of ways and not a sprint, even though you're trying to like go so quickly, it's so easy again to get behind, and that feeling of getting behind can be really, it can bum you out. And it can make it easier for you to just quit, when the opposite of what you want to do is quit. So I think I really like that. And I remember what I did one year, NaNoWRIMO 2017, when I was trying to write a sci-fi novel. I actually had run out of story, which was a travesty. But in a similar vein, what I did was I kind of wrote the stream of consciousness, but I did it from each of the characters' point of views. So like I just kind of let them talk, if that makes sense. And so even though, like Jess said, you can't use it in the story, like it's not going to be, if I somehow got that published, it wouldn't be in the book. It does help me when I go to revise later that I have more background to my characters than I did before, and so it's still useful, still words, still counts toward NaNoWRIMO, and you're not panicking as much. So all good things.
You got more words on a page. It counts.
And then another hack I've used, and I know I've talked about this before, but I try and find those calendars. Some people create them so that you can print them out, or you can like stick them on the background of your computer, where they actually change your goals so that it's like 5,000 words the first day, and you basically incrementally like get lower, so that the last day of NaNoWRIMO, it's 0 words that you have to write. Like you finished ahead of time, they always get lower, because I tend to start out really strong and then go down, or I try and rework the 1,667 words so that like I take off several days during the US Thanksgiving time, because I know I basically get nothing done then. And I have to just rework stuff, and that helps me not to fall behind and not to stress out too much on the days that I do get 0 word days. So maybe try that.
And my advice on that is don't stack it too high on the first couple days, because I'm that person that I'll be like, I wrote 10,000 words the first day, so I'm good. And then it'll be like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I haven't wrote anything in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up.
That is, it's back to the sprint versus marathon thing, I guess. So it's like,
don't go too high at the beginning. Don't go
too high. Don't rush out of the gate.
And then you'll be like, I'm good for like a while, and then it's like 2 weeks later, and you're like, oh my god, I haven't wrote anything for 2 weeks.
Yes, that's the thing. That 1,667 words really like gets at you, because if you just miss one day, and I remember I think last year I had like 2 0-word days in a row, and so then the next day you have to write 5,001 words in one day theoretically to be on track, and I was like, crap. It's tough.
My typical goal is to get like 2,000 a day, so that if I miss a day, like I still have to catch up, but not as much. And I think it also helps if you have like someone like me who has a job, or kids who go to school, or people who do both. I think it also helps if you break it up versus trying to get it all at one time. So if whatever your goal is for the day, if you break it into thirds, and you do like a third of it before you go to work or school, and a third when you get home, and then like a third before you go to bed. It helps when you have a busy life, because a lot of us don't have like the 2 hours to just sit down and write for 2 hours to get your 2,000 words. So if you break it up into smaller pieces, it can be easier sometimes.
Yeah, I remember when I was working corporate, I tried to get like 500 in the morning before work, and then 500 if I could sneak it in at lunch, and then attempt the final 500. But I only won one of the years I was working corporate, so I lost many other years. So if that, I guess I've always said that, like, I know the point is that the 50,000, it's like anyone can reach it if you really try. And I just don't think that's true, as much as I love NaNoWRIMO. It's just pushing yourself each day during Nano. If that's your goal, again, having a goal that's not the word count goal. If that's your goal is just to push yourself each day, then I think you're treating NaNoWRIMO right. Let's see if I can find. Do y'all want to share any of your hacks? I actually asked on Instagram about some hacks, and one that I loved that I hadn't even thought about, but I think I kind of do, is having multiple places you can write. And that way, when you get tired of one location or you're like not feeling it anymore, switch to another location and it kind of like rejuvenates you. Or, I mean, I figure since y'all are here, you probably know about writing sprints, but writing during sprints is so helpful, especially during NaNoWRIMO time.
One thing I'm seeing asked in the chat a lot is if Nano is supposed to be a new project or something that you're already currently working on. The answer to that is you can do either. Camp is more geared toward working on a project that you already have, whereas regular Nano is more the technical way that you're supposed to do regular Nano is to start off with a brand new story, writing 50,000 words of a first draft of a new story. Now, a lot of us don't do that because we already have stories working that we're working on. And so we'll work on a previous project, and we're what they call Nano Rebels, which basically means you're doing Nano, but you're not necessarily following the guidelines. Like I said, I'm doing 3 stories that I have previously worked on during Nano and have never finished a first draft of. So I'm doing like a continuation Nano. Like I'm trying to get all 3 of those first drafts finished because working on just one of them isn't enough to get me to 50,000 words, and 3 is probably too much. I probably won't finish any, but I'll be further along. So.
Yeah. And that's what, same, I'm rebelling. And Project Death was actually something that I started before April's Camp NaNoWRIMO, continued into April's Camp NaNoWRIMO, and now I have that 0 draft done and I'm working on the first draft. So my goal actually isn't even the 50,000 words, it's to finish the first draft. And that might be 60,000 or 80,000 or something, but like, that's what my goal is. And I'll also be, and that's my assigned NaNoWRIMO project that I'll be tracking. So I have a leg up in some ways because some of the words might be able to be used from my 0 draft to my first draft. Probably not a lot, but do I know anyone that is, I was trying to think of author-tubers I know who are working on a brand new project for NaNoWRIMO, and I don't think I know that many of us who are doing that this year.
I think we've all been doing so many camps and regular nanos that it's hard to have a new story idea every time. And I think a lot of people started on new ones like during camp.
Any of the camps.
And then like you're still working on it, or you're doing like a second round of revisions or whatever it is that we're doing. So no, I don't know anybody off the top of my head that's doing a new story.
I don't either, but if y'all are, or if you know of another author-tuber, or maybe if you're vlogging your experience for the first time, let us know. And then I saw this, Anna Dree, am I saying that right? Was saying, I was thinking of setting weekly goals rather than daily goals. It's my first time doing Nano, so I don't know if it'll work, but it might. I actually think that might be a great idea in terms of personally tracking it yourself. I know I feel that way with like, I'm gonna bring it up, I'm doing Spookathon, the reading challenge this week. Today's the last day. And it helps me to think I have a whole week to get the stuff done rather than needing to hit X amount of pages read per day. Because sometimes you'll have days that you're just like doing awesome, and other days you can have those 0 word days and still at the end of the week kind of gauge how you're doing. I think that might be genius.
And again, I'm the opposite person that like all week as I've been reading for the Spookathon, I've been like, I have all weekend, it's fine. Ask me how many pages I've read this weekend. 0.
To be fair, I have 1 day left. I've only read 1 chapter in this book, so I finished 1 book and I'm very happy about that. But like today's goal is literally just edit some stuff and then read all day.
I have a book that I want to finish after the chat, and I think I have like my ebooks because I have like 2 hours left, so I want to at least finish that one. But I have like 6 more arcs that I need to read this month, and like 10 days left. So the likelihood of it happening is very small.
See, and Jess reads so much, but also I'm going to be proud of myself if I can finish this, because finishing 2 books in a week will be the most I've read in 1 week in a long time. So I'm excited.
If I finish this book, that'll be 3 this month, and that'll be the most that I've read since July. Because I read 2 in August and 2 in September.
Oh, look at this. So, BB, we got some people who are posting daily, some people who are trying to vlog for the first time. There's going to be so many people. Look at all of this. Yay! Okay, I'm going to go through real quick. Yes, Jess?
Oh, I'm reading and looking, and I'm like trying to keep up. I swear. So much. I'm trying not to miss like good questions.
I know. I have seen a lot of people, Pomodoro-ish kind of thing, using the sprint method. Oh, some people are saying the Comic Sans hack. I have never used the Comic Sans hack, but it could be an option for y'all. If you want to look it up, I know it has worked for other people in the past.
It's pretty big on Authortube. You can find information about that fairly easily.
Mm-hmm. Some people have charts they create to help motivate them. I think that's cool. I like Jules Cooley on Instagram said, celebrating every 1,000 words with a mini dance party. I think that's cool. I did something last year where every 1,000th word, I pulled it and I tried to make a sentence off of each 1,000th word. You can look back at those vlogs from last year. It didn't turn out the best, but it always was fun, and it did motivate me. Sometimes I got more words when I realized I was almost to 37,000. I can't stop now. I want to get that 1,000th word. So I think kind of tricking yourself, sometimes bribing yourself is really helpful. I do think the word-based bribes are good. And setting them under the NaNoWRIMO goal, especially, so you get it a little bit more. That's a trick.
There's a lot of people that like this is their first nano and they want help on writing a story. And honestly, I feel like, despite the fact that this is Authortube, I feel like for the most part, at least on my part, I don't know about you necessarily, but I think I'm not here to tell people how to do things because I haven't done it myself, so I don't feel that I'm qualified to give someone advice on how they should or should not write a book. I think that if you look into people who are well published, they are all going to tell you that there's no one way to write a book. There are multiple different ways to do it. There are multiple different things. And what I highly suggest, kind of in the same vein as Kate's I Write Like videos, where she does research on how authors are writing, I highly suggest that you look up some of your favorite authors and see what information they have about how they write. And there are like master classes, there are free things on the internet with different, I think Brandon Sanderson is one that has like a free like YouTube videos about how he writes. There's a lot of stuff out there that are from people who are way better versed at giving that kind of information than I am.
Yes, same. I try not to give any writing advice, especially because we all like different things to read. We like different styles of writing. I know that, and this is where the thing with Save the Cat comes in for me. I know some people really swear by Save the Cat and say that it's like incredible and does all this stuff. Having things that you take away from each source, whether that's Save the Cat or it's an author you really love or whatever, I think all of those can contribute to your own way of writing. But I think getting advice from any one source could be detrimental. And also, the best way to learn about writing is to try it out, see what works, see what doesn't. I think it's one of those things you just have to fail at several times in order to learn a lesson, and you move on. Like, I learned a lot from that failed sci-fi novel that I wrote during NaNoWRIMO 2017. And I've learned a lot from just watching other Authortuber vlogs where they'll mention something that I never would have thought of. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take a piece of this and a piece of this. And I personally like to get my writing advice that way rather than like depending on one source. And yeah, also I just don't feel qualified to give any advice on it.
I think taking advice from people is good, but there's not like
one way.
This is how you do it. Like, I'm never on my channel to be like, this is how you write this. Like, this is how you write a first draft, or this is how you revise a book, or this is, because I don't think, not only is every person different, but every story is different. Yeah. Every story that you write is going to need different things. It's going to require different things. Some are going to require more research. Some are going to require more work with people and trying to figure out more empathetic ways to write what you need to write. I mean, there's just so many different things. There's no one right way.
Yeah, so, and it's just like how, like, I'm a morning writer, and I really am bad at writing at night, but other people might swear by writing at night in the dark where nothing to interrupt. You know, it's different kind of things. The fact that that can be so different, I think the same is true for any type of writing. And I'd actually caution you against anyone who says this is the one way to do it and you must do it this way, or you're not a writer, or you're not this. Like, don't listen to those people.
Is it not like part of I'm gonna show my age here. Is it not part of like Sister Act 2 where Whoopi's character says something about like someone wrote into this author asking how you write a book or how to be an author or how to be a writer, and the person said if you wake up every day and all you think about is writing, then you are a writer. Like, that's how you write, is you just do it. Like, there's no right or wrong way, you just do it.
You just do it. And that's the thing I've gotten from all of these I tried writing likes, is when you boil it down, they just all manage, they all do it differently, but they all manage to like sit down and write, or sit down and think about their stories, or, you know, they manage to do it. And that's what's more important than the actual method a lot of the time.
And also, if you don't write every day, it doesn't mean that you're not a writer. Like, you have to find like you need to write, but you don't need to write every second of every day.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of famous authors who do the thing where they percolate over their stories for months at a time. And then I've heard some where it's like they sit down and they write the whole thing in a week. But then they don't write again and they just percolate and then they just do this like that. And they're just as successful as the people who sit down and write every day. Like, it's just, we're all different and it's all great. And like Sage said, no one can tell you how to write. They can only tell you how they write. Yes.
Wonderful. Absolutely.
Oh, Sadie asks if I'm doing the NaNoWRIMO sentence again this year. I think I will. I think I will. I think I'm going to do that in NaNoWRIMO 2017 daily vlogs. I did a thing where I did my favorite sentence I wrote or my least favorite sentence I wrote, or both each day. And I think I might try and bring that back too, because I liked doing it, and I also liked seeing what other people's favorite sentences or least favorite sentences they wrote was. So yeah, I'm contemplating some more fun stuff I can do for my vlogs, and also just for me to get me through NaNoWRIMO.
I will not be doing daily content because I'm not. Life is hard enough. Don't make it any harder than it has to be.
Well, and that might be something to talk about too, because I love when other people do daily NaNoWRIMO vlogs. I like doing them myself, but also it can be a lot. And I think the thing to remember is that, like, you're trying to write, not necessarily trying to vlog it always. And like, if one of them, if that combo for y'all who are doing it for the first time starts to get overwhelming, it's okay to back off. And actually, I think I've had multiple days every year where I've done 0-word days, and I had like a 2 or 3 minute video and I was like, haha, I got nothing, bye. So it's cool, it's fine.
Well, and I think if you are someone who's doing daily videos, don't do daily vlogs, do daily videos, and have a couple of things planned ahead of time. that if you have a day where you don't have something planned, you can just, it's already edited. You just need to upload it and send it on its way. And that will help as well for those of you who are crazy and want to do daily videos.
Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with, I don't feel like for me, I don't write every day. So me doing daily vlogs is kind of weird because most days you're gonna be like, didn't write anything, see you later, peace. Like,
yeah,
I'm out. But also, I don't have time to watch everyone's daily videos. And we have discussed in the group chat, like I have like 400 videos in my watch later already. Like it's insane because I used to be able to keep it like under 20, and just life has been so crazy. I haven't had time to keep up with anything. And there's so many people that I love to watch their content, and I love supporting their channel, and I want to watch stuff. And it's just like, I haven't had the time. So trying to watch daily vlogs or videos from anyone is going to be not fun for me, but I'm going to try my best.
Same. And I felt like that last year when I was trying to make them also, is that I just like could not watch as many as I was used to. And like everything is about give and take during NaNoWRIMO especially. So yeah, it's tough. And also I was just thinking about that. I have over 1,000 videos in my watch later thing that I should just get rid of a lot of them because
1,000?
It's 1,000. It's not great. So I just
like 1000.
It was actually 1098, but I was trying to be kind to myself. So, it's cool. And does anyone else have this problem? Great. I also think I'm gonna take advantage of Jess's multiple like the sheet you come up with, because finding the like live streams that people are doing, like I think that first day of NaNoWRIMO, there are going to be so many live write-ins to attend, which is a wonderful thing, but it also means that like attending everyone's live write-ins is almost impossible. And so I think I'm just gonna like start choosing at random. Like I'm gonna see, ooh, can I attend a different person's live write-in every day? Is this a thing that could happen? Anyways, I'm gonna contemplate.
My original goal during Nano, which we discussed last year during Nano, was that I wanted to do a NaNoWRIMO fully only writing when other people were hosting a live.
Yeah.
And the issue with that has been timing for me. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it this year, and I may have to like forward it to a camp or maybe Nano next year. But I really want to try that experiment. I really want to see like how like can I make it to 50,000 if I'm only writing with other people during lives?
Yeah,
I think it would be awesome. But I don't have like the time to do the research and everything that I need to do to figure out what people are writing, and I just it's not going to happen this year.
It's a lot, yeah. But I think that would be so cool, especially as Authortube continues to grow. There's more and more people who are getting into live streaming, which is incredible. So I think especially maybe within a few more months, the next camps, I bet there'll be even more than there is now. That might be even easier or more possible.
Which is probably something that you should write down that we'll discuss in December's chat.
Oh crap. Yes. We've already sort of planned out some options. Sorry, y'all. I'm just
like now I'm reading comments and she's like writing things down furiously, like, ah! It's fine.
Oh, go.
We've been trying to plan ahead ideas for the chats, so
yeah, we're trying to do good,
trying to be here for you guys and supportive. And yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, see, look, Sage is on board. Agrees.
And I think there are enough people out there that do live streams that you could do one every day. I really do. My issue is like I have people that I follow on YouTube and they don't post about them ahead of time. And like, I'll be like, oh, they did a live write-in earlier today. Like, cool. Highly recommend if you're doing a live write-in that you set it up as a scheduled live so that people will know ahead of time that you're going to do it, and you'll have better viewership and more people to interact with you while you're sitting there waiting for the delay and people to answer your questions.
And something I learned from Jess is that if you guys also have an Authortube channel, is that on your like main channel page, you can set up a section that has upcoming live streams. So helpful, because I have known people, if they set it up a week or 2 weeks ahead of time, that they're having a live stream and I can never find it again because I can't find it on their page because it hasn't happened yet. And so I have to search and know specifically what to search for in the YouTube search bar. It's just a lot. That's a tip. Just go ahead and make an upcoming streams thing.
I need to do an updated going live video now that we don't have Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
Adding it to the list.
Jess's channel should be, and it's not because I didn't update this. Speaking of things you should do, Jessica's channel is not
my name.
It
Jessica
is Jessica
Williamson. I spell it. Oh wait. Hi, it's me.
She'll type it in there.
But yeah, like you can literally just like type in my name and it goes to my channel, because I used to have like weird channel names and I gave up on that. So well, you know, my channel started out as a reading channel, so I went with like a reading channel, and then I went to I changed a couple of times, changed it different ways, and then at some point was just like, I hate being in a chat and no one knowing my name.
You know what? Yeah.
That really was it. Like, you're in a chat and you have like a weird like name that doesn't coincide with your name, and people will be like, purple nurple blue 2 x3 597. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, just put your name in there. It's fine.
But if you want someone to call out purple nurple 1 2,
that's also fine.
Keep it. Yeah.
It's just not what I was going for. So, yeah. Squishy Mogi the Third. See? You get it.
But again,
fine.
Yes, it is fine. And there are times though where I love that though. Like, I think the Squishy Mochi the Third, what a great username. Like, what are you kidding me?
It is. It's great. And I feel like for a lot of people, especially because a lot of people who are on YouTube are under the age of 18 and they should not be giving out their personal information to people without like parents' permission and all of those things. And some people just don't want the world to know who they are. That's fine. Like, I get it. But for me, I want people to know who I am because I'm a narcissist. So
say my name, say my name.
Right. Like, this is a Beyonce lifestyle over here, and I need to know my name.
I do see Charlie also says, I'm still debating on whether to use a pen name on possible future YouTube channel. Mine is a pen name. Jessica's is her real name. So
I was crazy. I was like, I want stalkers.
You know, well, and that's why when you publish, I mean, I think it's kind of one of those things, like, I hope to publish under the Kate Kavanaugh name. So it totally made sense for me to do it that way. So I think it's just whatever you want. And I also want to do multiple different pen names. So, you know, I just picked one and I ran with it. But also, some people love using their real name because that's the name they want on their books. So it makes sense.
I use my real name because it's my name, and I didn't come up with like a pen name prior to all of this like author branding that I started doing, which doesn't make any sense because I haven't finished a book yet. It's been 20 years and whatever. But my point is that I also am not super attached to my name. So I feel like it's not going to be, it probably won't be the case now because we're getting so many authors who are not white people who have non-white traditional names who are being able to publish with their real names, which I think is amazing. Because before it had to be like a name that people could pronounce easily, that we white pasty people could pronounce easily. And I feel like publishing is being so great about being inclusive and about including minorities and allowing someone to use their real name that may not be the most pronounceable thing for the masses. So I don't feel like it'd be a problem now, but originally I thought like my last name is so long that it wouldn't necessarily like flow well on a book cover. So like if they wanted me to change my name, like, all right, fine, I don't care. I'm not married to it. I was born with this name. I'll get rid of it. I don't care.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting philosophy. Kate's my middle name. And as a child, I wished I was Kate. So now I just get to live vicariously through that. Kavanaugh, my grandma and my mom helped me come up with. So
it goes really well with Kate.
Yeah. See, it sounds like a real name, right?
Sounds like a real name that people would give their child.
Yeah, see, lots of people using the pen names. And I know if Becca is in here, she will happily tell you about like why she's using. I mean, she's been publishing and doing stuff for years. So, I mean, of course she was going to use the name she's published under before she made her Authortube channel. Like, that's just what she's done. So there's pros and cons to everything. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Grape fry. What? Oh, okay. I thought I misread that. I thought you said Kate was your middle name and Kavanaugh was your family name. And I was like, what? No, yeah. Grape fry is right.
Calm down.
I know. I was like, the universe is insane. I mean, it is, but also.
Kristen, the writer, says, I didn't realize publishers would ask you to change your name. That's kind of what the point that I was making was that, like, it's not as common now as it used to be.
It used to be bad.
If your name was of any descent other than white people.
Yeah.
And it's like that in all industries. I know, like, in, like, actor-wise, like, one that I think about that hits my brain a lot is Chloe Bennett, who is in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Her family, I think her dad's family is Asian, and I don't know her full history, but I know her dad's family is Asian and that her last name is an Asian last name. And to make herself more hireable in the industry, she chose to change her last name. Now, she's a genius, and her dad's first name is Bennett, so she's still using her father's name, but it's his first name rather than his last name. But she did it to make herself more hireable. And that's kind of how publishing used to be as well, is that you would change your name to something that was more accessible. Not so much now as it was 10 years ago. But yeah, publishers used to say, you know, your name is maybe not going to sell as great. And, you know, so let's think about changing it.
Yeah.
Charlie says that her dad was Chinese. The last name was Wang. I knew that it was some Asian descent and that it was his last name, but I can't remember off the top of my head all of the information. But I always remember that, like, it was really cool. I really like support her in choosing her dad's first name because it's still like her family's name and she's still like respecting her dad and her family, but choosing something that works to help her get hired in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Which she shouldn't have to do.
She should not have to. But one day.
Genius way of doing it.
Yeah. That's the, yeah. Ugh, that whole thing's a mess. Oh, that's interesting. So Evie says this is a pen name. It helps me to take criticism on my writing either because it's my writing persona. So it feels like a bit of armor to separate myself as a person and myself as a writer. That's a great point. I feel the same way, at least like, so even though this is me doing whatever, it helps me to separate Kate Kavanaugh doing YouTube and having these genres she writes in versus like me as a human. And not everyone needs to do that, obviously, but I think there is something to be said for that, Evie. I feel the same way. Oh yeah, that's the other reason the acting world is weird. You got to change your name if someone else within like SAG or something already has that name.
Interestingly enough, though, Disney Channel does not count with that. So if you originally started on the Disney Channel, they have their own group actor filing system. And so one of the girls from Jessie, Peyton List, there's an actress already a Peyton List that's a member of the Screen Actors Guild.
Mm-hmm.
So once the Disney patent list started doing stuff that wasn't Disney, she had to like add in her middle name. So she goes under 2 different gradations on shows. And like, I'll be watching something and it'll say like it's got patent list in it. I'm like, I didn't see patent list in that at all. And then I'm like, oh, it's the other patent. Like, I'll see her face and I'm like, other patent list, got it. And it is confusing. And I think that's why they do that. But it's interesting, like when you are going to be like a public persona, they do make you change your name, especially if you are, you know, writing and someone else already has your name. They don't want to Jessica Williamson's publishing, because then you might buy the wrong book or think it's part of a series that it's not part of, which to me is like, I think they do it to like, you can't make your pen name J.K. Rowling and hope that you will sell books because you're J.K. Rowling. You're not allowed to do that. So
yeah, there's the what's the example? It's Stephen King. There's like a Stephen J. King whose legal name is Stephen King, and he published a few books under it, and people like on Goodreads and other places just trashed him, saying he was trying to benefit off of Stephen King. And so, you know, there's reasons you wouldn't want to do that anyways, but also if you're not writing in the same genre, if there's years removed, and especially now that we have the internet, you can just look stuff up. That's crazy. You know, you should be able to distinguish between authors with similar sounding names writing completely different books.
And that's what Sadie just asked, what if your name is actually J.K. Rowling? It doesn't matter. You have to have a different name.
Yeah,
because
get over that.
Stephen King's name is not Stephen King.
But he was there first. So.
But he was there first.
And he made it so popular. You just gotta.
Yeah. And there are some that are close that I get confused. And they're not coming to my brain right now. But I know there are some that are like, the first name will be close and the last name is the same.
Yeah.
Like maybe like the last name is like Stevens and the first names are Robert and Bobby. I don't know. But like there are some that are like really close. And like I'm like, which one is that though?
Yeah. Yeah. Who are you? Or like when I'm at the library, since they do everything. Ooh, I need to look this up, but like, you know, the Dewey Decimal System.
Yes.
Which I think I saw that they were getting rid of. I can't remember if I read that right. But, you know, you'll be at the library and you'll go and you're trying to find your book and you'll pull it out and there might be like X number. Like I like to go to the bookstore and see where Kavanaugh might be and I pull it out and there's already a starts with a K, Kavanaugh. And I'm like, well, I would be right next to this person. Like, but that's just how it goes. So,
let's change. Yeah. Marissa Meyer and Melissa Meyer. Yes, exactly that. And like every time I type out Marissa Meyer, because I read her works, I'm like, did I just like talk about Twilight author instead of the author of the books that I've actually read? I don't know. And like I had to check myself before I wreck myself. But yeah, I mean, like they're very close. And honestly, as someone who read the first Twilight book and did not enjoy it, it put me off of Marissa Meyer's books because my brain didn't connect that they weren't the same name. And it took me like 10 years to read the Lunar Chronicles, which I absolutely love, are some of my favorite books. So it's like, sometimes it's just a real bad thing going on.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Poor Ren. Works in a library. Similar names are the bane of their existence. Yes.
Poor J.K. Rowling. That was Sadie. Poor J.K. Rowling. And you had it pulled up earlier. I don't remember who said it, but that J.K. Rowling was asked to go by initials because they didn't think that Harry Potter would sell if people thought that a woman had wrote it. That's how I feel about my high fantasy too. And that's why, like, if I'm asked to go by initials or a pen name to do my high fantasy, I would do that. Because typically, this is all typical, typically the majority of people who read high fantasy are men, and typically men prefer to read high fantasy that is written by other men. So if you want it to sell, that's what you have to do. And it's not cool that you have to do that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And it is like, I know a lot of people will say like, don't change it then, like don't do this because of this, and like it's always one of those that I completely agree with on principle, like you shouldn't have to change, but also you want your money. You want to sell and you want people to read your book, and this is one of those terrible things that like I think pressures people who haven't published as much versus people who have already like made a name for themselves in one way or the other about you know, their name. Becca, I think all of us can agree that it's changing a lot. And I think it's changing quickly. It's one of those that took too long to get to this point, but it is changing more rapidly. But also a lot of people, yeah, just go by the initials in high fantasy. It's one of those tropes. Like my the romance novels that I work on, the pen name that I'm going to use has a more romance sounding name than, you know, not that Kate Kavanaugh wouldn't work or my actual name wouldn't work, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick something that I think is a little bit more with the genre. So
I understand why you have a pen name, but I don't think that like your first name is unsellable.
My first name's fine. Yeah. My actual first name's fine.
Yeah.
I could use it. I do actually think I will publish something. Yeah. That it's a fair point since I put so much out there on the internet. I do think that I might publish something under my real name at some point. I always joke that if I ever could actually get the Scooby-Doo meets Princess Bride figured out in a novel format, I will use my own real name.
Well, and that's something too, like maybe if you're not getting it even in the novel format, you could be your real name in other industries.
Yes, that's true. I mean, you know, the other part of it was because I had still considered at the time of working corporate, I did not want you to search up my real name and find all of my writer YouTube stuff. That was really what the consideration at the time was. And though I don't think I will go back to doing that, I could, and I would want my real name that's already attached to that to still be attached without this Kate Kavanaugh stuff. Some people don't care about that, and that's totally fine. I cared in my line of what I was doing, so.
I think that it just, because there's a lot of like conversation in the chat about what is still true and what isn't, and who should and should not change the name. And I think even with, I don't know how it works in self-publishing, because I don't know a lot about self-publishing because I haven't done the research, because that's not been my goal. But I know in the traditionally published world, the advice is typically to put your real name, your real information on everything. If you're choosing to write as a pen name, then you would write that in there as well. There's information out there on how to do this, but they want your real name and they want the pen name that you're choosing to go by. And I think that if you're choosing the traditionally published route, that's something that you and your agent could discuss. Whether you need a pen name, what that pen name should be, things like that can be discussed with someone who is familiar with the territory and the industry. And it's kind of like, it's not something that you have to decide right this very second. Now, for me, it was something I had to decide right this very second, because I was making a YouTube channel. But you know what? I can always change it. You'll be really confused when you go back to my earlier videos and be like, hi, this is Jessica. And you're like, but your name's Darlene. Like, but hey.
I see, but you can always counter that by being like, hi, my name's Jessica, and I write under Darlene something. You know, like the Courtney Project does that. Because she writes under Kennedy Fox and then publishes her own stuff under Lyra Parrish, and then she is Courtney. You know, so it's I really don't think it's as confusing. And like whenever I publish under multiple names, I can always say, this is the stuff I wrote under XY, and this is the stuff under YZ, you know. But for traditional publishing, when you are querying, that's what I put for the little amount of time that I did it. I wrote my real name, writing as Kate Kavanaugh kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what they tell you to do if you're like querying
it out
agents and. Would I do Jess Williamson? I would do something. If I was like going to change my name, like I'm going to go hardcore and like.
Like it's a full change.
It's like full change. I have names in my brain. I could not do Jessie. I hate Jessie. It is like the bane of my existence. I hate it so much. Like it is like, it makes me cringe. I'm like, all of my nieces and nephews call me Jessie because my aunt does. And like my aunt has done it my entire life, and I've always hated it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
at this point,
you respect your elders. And so like now my nieces and nephews do it. And I'm like, that is not my name. My name is Jessica. And if you're not going to say the whole name, then just don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. It's not my name. I'm okay with Jess. Jess is fine. Jessie like makes me want to die. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's always the thing. My real name rhymes with some stuff, and I get the peak of my annoyance is when people use this rhyme with my real name, and I just sit there and I'm like, don't you dare do it.
I'm gonna do it forever now. I'm gonna type it in our chat later.
You're like, no.
Do it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know. That's what, if you know the real, and I've not been the best always about covering it up on videos, so sometimes it's on the screen, it's fine.
Sometimes it's very visible.
Sometimes it's sometimes it's really there. So I'm sure some of y'all know. You know, this is why I made a in quotes a publishing house. I made a business for my multiple pen names so that when I try to self-publish, it's actually just the business that I have to, like, everything's under the one business. You can research it more. I don't think it's any more confusing than anything else, but taxes always suck. So
I think that if you are if you're an author, and I mean, I don't know, maybe some authors have like outstanding knowledge about taxes, but I feel like regardless, if I was making a little bit of money or a lot of money, I would hire a tax accountant, because I do my own taxes now, but like I have one income and it's a normal income and it's fine. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like if I had multiple incomes or like that kind of an income, I'd be like, I need a tax accountant, please, over here.
Yeah, I need some help. Yeah, I'm lucky I have my aunt knows a lot about taxes, and you know, I got a finance degree, which is not the same as accounting, but I have a vague understanding of accounting, so taxes aren't quite as difficult, but it is a switch from working corporate where a lot of the stuff was through the corporation, and now I'm having to file all my own taxes as a self-employed person. So that's fun.
Also, I'm an accountant, but I'm not a tax accountant.
Tax accountant, that's the asterisk.
Yeah. It's completely different. Luckily, like, because I work in a small business with my family, and because I'm from a small town where everybody is like a small business with their family, I know our tax accountant at work really well, and I know that like I could call him and ask him questions and he would give me answers. They are very nice in there, and they would help me out, so I don't have issues with that. But I would just be like, I'm gonna pay you, please do this.
Yes, hip. Yeah. Alexa then has a lot of great videos on the world of being an author, a published author, and especially traditional publishing. So yeah, definitely recommend Alexa. Also, not to like, this is something I always have to tell myself, but not to get too far ahead. Sometimes you don't need to worry about taxes yet. Like, it feels like a lot, and it is a lot, but like until you're making the money for it, like from your books.
Maybe you should like finish a book first, Jessica. I don't know.
That's what I always tell myself. I'm like, girl, you're getting too far ahead. You don't need to know this yet. It's okay to wait on trying to figure out the minutia.
Well, and that is like a personal thing for me, is that I love Alexa, but I don't watch a lot of her videos, and I feel like it's because she has information that I'm not ready for yet. Yeah. And I don't want to cloud what I need to know right now with what I need to know in the future. So like I have like an entire separate playlist that's privated, that's just like things of Alexa's that I need to watch later on, because it's not stuff that I need to know now, and I don't want to like stress myself out or like freak myself out or overrun the information that I need to know with stuff that I need to know 2 years from now.
Same.
So yes. Focus on the now a little bit, but focus on the later as well. Yeah. As we've been discussing things that are way in the future for like an hour now.
I know, that's true. Should we attempt to get back to somewhat NaNoWRIMO talk, since although that's in the future, it's in November. So.
Not sometime after you finish your book 16 years from now.
Exactly. Let me see if anyone else has any more good advice on Instagram. because this is the best part about everyone being able to contribute. Some people try and aim for 2,000 words a day instead for the first week. Talking about kind of switching up your goals for the first week, Carbonell writes 2,000 words as the goal, and then that way you have a little bit of a breather. I think that's really a smart way to do it too. I hadn't thought about that.
I don't know what my sister just did, but it sounded like a hamster squeak from the other room.
It did. I heard us squeak.
She just woke up, so you hear her walker going through the house.
Changing up your creativity when stuck. I crochet when writer's block hits and I refocus. So if you have something else you're kind of balancing out, and sometimes I think that's why I love making videos, is that it's a creative outlet. I'm still talking about writing, but it's done in a different format. And that kind of helps me. It's a little bit of a break. Editing a video, though similar to editing words, is not quite the same. Ooh, Maddie is doing Inktober. That is very exciting. I've followed a couple people on Instagram that are doing Inktober, and I just love it so much. I have no artistic talent, but I like watching other people.
I can draw stick figures, but their arms aren't always the same length.
Uh-oh, I froze.
I can see you moving.
Yay, okay.
I don't know if you froze for everyone else because I don't have the thing pulled up, but that's too much work.
I froze for me. I pulled up.
Oh, there it is.
Becca, who is incredible and sews, and actually I think she still has a story up on her Instagram of the tiny dragon bag she made. So little compared to the big dragon bag she made, so she put the little mom next to it. Oh my gosh. So if y'all want to go search up Becca, you can see, if you want to see some other sewing talent, distract herself with some beautiful dragon bags. I like Erin's nano tip, have snacks ready. And she's portioning out snacks right this moment. That is so...
Where are my snacks?
Send them to us, Erin.
I now live with a 12-year-old who is like, I have seen it, like, I buy like the economy size boxes of like goldfish, and she will like overnight eat the entire box, and she's like this big around, and I'm like, first off, why are you eating all of the goldfish? Second off, where did you put it?
Yeah, where did it go?
Like, she eats all day long. Like, there's no snacks in my house. Like, right now there are, because I spent a ridiculous amount of money at the grocery store and she hasn't been home yet. She's at her dad's this weekend. But like there's no snacks in my house. They disappear.
Vanished. Yep. No, I'm also terrible at either eating none of the things during Nano or eating all of the things. It's like I forget in the midst of the sprinting that I haven't eaten for a while, and then when I'm done, I'm like, oh crap, and I inhale anything nearby me. So having portioned out snacks would be really smart. Or Becca's thing.
Becca.
Also make food like chili or casserole so I don't have to cook for the first week. That is genius too. See, almost all of this is about making the first week as easy as possible. Because you want to both, you're so excited, so the excitement and that momentum will carry you through a lot, but you also want to make it as easy as possible, because I think, I don't know if this is true. I think a lot of people give up in the within the first week more than if you can make it past that first hump, you'll stick with it. Because at that point, you might already have over 10,000, over 15,000 words, and that's kind of harder to just stop on. Though I'll say that day 10 sucks for me, and so does Thanksgiving time. So,
well, and like, I mean, if you're someone else said it, like they become best friends with their crock pot. And for like me at my house, even with Melissa here, I do the majority of the cooking. Yeah. And so I try to do like crock pot things that I know that either Mom or Melissa can do. Like,
that's smart. Yeah.
It helps. There's someone here all day, and when she's having a good day and she feels good, she can turn the crock pot on and throw stuff in it, and dinner's done when I get home and I don't have to do it.
Like, hooray. Yes. Also, Bellissimo asks if I am doing my letters again. You can see the ones that I wrote during Camp NaNoWriMo. I am actually. I think I might film that today or tomorrow. I accept that I'm changing it based off of commenters who told me I should do them rather than for specific days, do them for like when I'm feeling X or when I'm feeling Y. And that's what I'm going to do. I have a list of like typical feelings I get, like either overwhelmed or like unmotivated or whatever. And I'm going to write myself a letter specifically for that moment so I can read it and then try to motivate myself, give myself my own little pep talk. So yes, and I recommend everyone else try it too. I thought it was really nice when I got to day 10 and 20 last time. So also fan fiction totally does count, Meg. Do recommend.
I was answering that in the comments. I stopped. It does count, and because it's actually an option. When you are announcing your novel on Nano, you get to choose like what category it fits in, and fan fiction is one of those categories. So fan fiction is like a NaNoWriMo sanctioned type of writing, and we stand behind that.
We do. We here in the Authortube monthly chat love fan fiction.
We do. Haven't read any in a long time, but I wrote a lot of it.
Yes, same.
Back in the day.
Same. I'm also thinking, and this is something because I'm a fool and getting ahead of myself, like we've kind of already mentioned, I'm thinking ahead to 2020, and I might try out maybe fan fiction again, maybe some other options. I don't know. I'm thinking about stuff.
I would have to find something that like I'm super passionate about now, but like the difference is I don't think there's anything like the things that I really love now. I don't think I could do better.
That's a good point. See, and the fan fiction I wrote was mostly like it was Harry Potter stuff when the books hadn't all come out yet, or like my personal obsession forever and ever, the Marauders era, because there's not actually a book about it. We just had little snippets, but I think I have some of that for other stories where it's like we've got little other fandoms. We've gotten snippets of something, and I'm like, I could do more of that. So I don't know.
Okay, but question. My door's opening.
Okay.
But have you ever heard of the actor Ben Barnes?
Yes, and I have his face in mind. But I don't know that I've ever. You'll just.
Someone said it earlier on Twitter, and it like blew my mind. Ben Barnes as like a young Sirius Black.
That would be amazing.
I went, I didn't know I needed this until right this second.
Yes.
Right this second.
I would love for them. Oh my God, wait, I saw gay Star Wars and I got excited. I would love for them. Yes. No power in this galaxy can stop you. No power in this galaxy should try. Yes. Right. But Ben Barnes as Sirius Black would be amazing also. And I still say that rather than expanding in this way with the Harry Potter universe, I wish we would just get Marauder stuff. Yeah. But part of me wishes we wouldn't, because I am apprehensive of how it would go at this stage in my Harry Potter love. I'm worried it might get ruined, is what I'm saying. My faith has gone downhill.
I loved like the chat. Ben Barnes would be amazing in anything. Yeah. He is playing the Darkling. I have not read that series yet. I've recently purchased it, so I don't know. And look, you all are correcting me. There are a lot of things in the fandom of people putting Ben Barnes as Sirius, but I didn't know that until today.
I had not heard that either. But
today is the day that I learned.
Today years old that we learned that.
Today years old. I'm really old. Also, I made a Facebook post several years ago when I can't even remember. It was like the Samuel Adams on the History Channel. It was like some kind of show, and Ben Barnes played Samuel Adams, and like I made like this huge post about like how much I loved it, and Ben Barnes liked it, and I think I died that day.
That's amazing.
I think all of this has just been me, a ghost from here on out.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I just like died right there.
Like this is yep. I just like the theory that I've been talking to a ghost who's able to like I'm into it.
It's my weird ghost move.
Ghost move, and yes, Ness, that also sounds incredible. look at all of these great ideas people are having for NaNoWRIMO.
Yes.
Also, I don't know what this was in reference to. Okay, how does nano word count work if you have already started to write your novel and have 17,000 words? So actually, I think the NaNoWRIMO website is attempting to have that as an option now, where you can put your starting word count in. So if you just started from the 17,000 and on, you know, you need to get to 67,000. But I think they are realizing that that's what a lot of people have done. So we got the option now.
They're giving us those options, but no 30-day in a row option.
Come on, NaNoWRIMO.
Get your crap together. Dang.
Erica's asking if anyone's doing short stories or novellas for NaNoWRIMO. I have seen a couple people, though I don't see it as frequently, but I think that is really cool. I think that would be really fun. We need a contingent of short story writers on Authortube.
Yeah, there really aren't a lot, and I think it's a completely different skill set.
It is so different
than writing long form, but I'm trying to like pull up some pages here on the thing with the thing.
Look at that. Poor Becca. Yeah, we're all. And this is just the year, too, that I'd been thinking about before the website launched. I was telling Becca, I was like, I think I'm going to do your method this year and go for the badge. And then there is no badge.
I want you to know that my computer right now says I don't have internet, so I really am a ghost.
Look at that. You are here when you shouldn't be. This is a story in itself. All right, so Andrea's also doing short stories, so look at that. Looky there. Wait, what? 12 novellas, calendar of crime. I don't know what that is exactly, but it sounds really cool.
Are you doing like 12 novellas, one each month, and they're all crime stories? Because I'm in.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm getting from this. That sounds great.
Where's mine?
Where is Grape Fry? I saw someone respond to Grape Fry's comment, but I don't know where Grape Fry's comment is. This is okay.
Part of the problem.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
It's so hard to find people. We're sorry if we're missing your question.
We're so sorry. Yeah.
If we don't answer your question, feel free to ask again.
Yeah, we promise it's not you.
It's not personal. We just can't find stuff. It's moving so quick.
That's the book.
That's the whole book right there.
Oh, that's wonderful. Ooh, Peggy, working on Viking historical fantasy novellas. Also, Peggy has a lot on Instagram stories. So y'all, if you want like updates and stuff, Peggy's really good about that.
I'm not good about updates on Instagram.
I enjoy it. I just don't do it as much as sometimes I wish I did. But
I tried to do some stuff like the past few weeks where I've been like actually doing things and like was trying to Instagram story it, and I realized like nothing that I've been posting to Instagram has actually went through. Like it is showing me that it's going through, but like if I go to my profile page, there's nothing there. So like I've been posting stuff for 2 weeks and like, why am I not getting any response to any of this? I had to like delete the app and reload it because it just was not. It's just 2 weeks of nothing.
I'm so sorry. That's hysterical.
This is what happens when I try.
No, I like it. That's great. I'm excited for when it does actually work. It goes through. As someone who loves Instagram as my social media, like other than YouTube, I guess I don't know if YouTube counts as like first and foremost, but like then Instagram and then like nothing else.
And then nothing else.
I like Charlotte's way of thinking. I mean, I probably won't get on Twitter and do
She's not opening Twitter.
Twitter just, I feel like I miss out on stuff sometimes because there's a lot of great stuff on Twitter, but it mostly just makes me sad. So I just have learned to stay off of there for me. But I still want to ask Nano about the badge. There's still time. They could put it up there.
There's still time.
This is a good question. So how does winning Nano work? Is it the first person to reach 50,000? Nope. It's just a personal challenge for you to reach the 50,000 or whatever goal you want to set it at. It's all about like personal fulfillment more than anything. So the 50,000, though it is what the marker is to be a, quote unquote, like winner. I mean, a lot of us will say you'll win if you get any words more than you were going to. So yeah, what Sage said. Good point, Charlotte. I might do that. I'll try. I'll go put it on, like, because I'm sure that they have something. I'll look that up. Good point. Good point.
Way smarter than us.
Yeah. But
I don't understand, like, right now you can associate, like, I went in here to look at something, but you can associate your project with a NaNoWRIMO event, but like the latest one's like 2015.
Oh, that might be like a glitch.
I can do 1999.
Yeah.
No. So we're gonna party like it's 1999. Some of you are not old enough to have been alive when that song came
out. Nano Rebels, does that mean they are doing their own thing, like a different goal? Sometimes it's a different goal. Sometimes it's once upon a time, it used to mean people who also, I see a kitty in the background. Oh, disappeared. Sometimes it used to be for people who were doing like poetry or short stories or scripts or, playwriting or something, but I think Nano now encompasses more of that. So yeah, usually Rebels now mean that they're doing a goal that's not the 50,000 goal. Sometimes it's because they're doing 100,000. Sometimes it's because they're doing 10,000. Or it's a story they've already started, that kind of thing.
I did a ballerina move.
You did. I saw the spin.
I didn't want to get up.
I think Erica also has a great question for pantsers and discovery writers. What do you do if you get stuck part of the way into your novel? This always happens to me around 20,000 words. Jess and I have both pantsed and been discovery writers, I would say, for most of our writing careers. I don't know. Most of the time we write careers. It's in quotes. So I feel like we can both talk to that. Jess, do you also get stuck at the 20,000 word mark, or?
Oh, it's usually right around 20, yeah.
Yeah. It's the middle for me is just a challenge. So yeah.
I think this is that thing where I said sometimes, especially because if you're doing like a discovery version, I think sometimes it does help to do like a stream of consciousness to kind of chat with yourself about what you want to happen. And I think that is a great way to do that and still get words in, is to just sit there and be like, okay, maybe at this point we can do XYZ or do this or blah, 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 blah. Or if you're stuck somewhere and you don't know like what decision someone wants to make, you can always write out like both of them and see where it leads you to like try to figure that out. And you can always count both of those sets of words, even if one of them's being deleted, because technically it is words that you wrote for that story, even if it's not something. I mean, a lot of what most of us who do first drafts or discovery writers, we get rid of half of it at least when we go to write the next step anyway. So most of what you're writing is not going to get used eventually anyway. So count it all. Anything that you write down, just count it and just explore a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think
throw in a plot twist you would never throw in.
Exactly. Try something else. I'm also a fan of just skipping parts sometimes. I do a lot of skipping around during NaNoWRIMO. Not everyone likes to do this, but I recommend it. I just put in little brackets what I think should happen or maybe happens, or I put in brackets my two options, and then I go to the next thing that I know. And then later in the month or later in the week or even the same day, I might go back and like actually try and flesh those out now that I have a better idea for things. But I think that's some of the fun of the discovery writing too, is that you can just do whatever to learn about the story.
I am one of those people who is like highly motivated by cookie scenes, like romantic scenes.
Yeah.
So I have like an entire just like page file that has been saved it's literally titled cookie scenes. They're never going to get used for anything. They sometimes exist between couples that are never couples in the books. And if I get stuck, sometimes I'm just be like, I want to write something I want to write. So like, I'm going to go write a cookie scene.
Yeah.
And get like all of that going and then come back. And sometimes that helps too. Sometimes just writing what you want to write versus what the story needs or the direction you want the story to go in, or maybe not even the story that you're working on. Sometimes just writing what you want to write for that moment will help you get back to where you need to be.
Yeah. And I'll also say, since I'm such a fan of writing multiple stories, and we know Jess is doing that for sure, I will be, because I'm always working on multiple stories, that's exactly the time I switched to something else for a bit. And now I don't plan on counting, like, you know, the third book in the Meridian Map series as I'm writing that with Project Death. I don't plan on counting those words, but I think you can do that and it's fine. Like, maybe your goal, like Jess, is to just write multiple projects. Count all the words. You can switch to whatever you want to write. Like, again, NaNoWRIMO's not always about doing things. Be a rebel. Be a rebel.
Always be a rebel.
Always be a rebel. Also, I love calling it cookie scenes too.
I think that's a Susan Dennard thing.
Really? Okay. That's cute though.
I think it's, well, because it's like, you know, it's like it, if they're done properly, they make you feel like they give you the warm and fuzzy inside and like you're happy and you're excited. And I don't know anybody that doesn't get excited about cookies. Everybody loves cookies, right?
Everyone loves cookies. I also, Jess, I'm going to pull up a question, but I want to ask you one first. Would you ever write just like a straight romance novel or novella? What with your love of cookie scenes? Or is that like out of the question? No interest.
It would have to be like a very rated, like PG-13 type deal.
But it could be so cute.
It would, yeah, I mean, I could do that. I mean, I'm not against it. Like, most of my fan fiction was just cookie scenes.
True.
So, I mean, they had like a little bit of magic, but that's just because the worlds that I was writing in had magic.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of fan fiction, is like you get to write characters and scenes that you want, but you don't have to like do all the hard work.
Yeah, you get to do whatever.
You don't have to create characters or backstory, or I mean, I guess you do kind of have to come up with a plot, but I mean, it's like half the plot's already there. You just have to continue the plot, and you know, it's fine. Cookie scenes, yeah, it's possible, but I don't think I have anything. I try not to make romance the main theme of the story. To be fair, though, I didn't start reading contemporary until last year.
Okay.
So
that's a good point.
I mean, I read it when I was younger, like mid-grade. I read contemporary because I would read like Babysitter's Club and Goosebumps, which is not contemporary, but contemporary enough. But like to just read like contemporary romance, that probably started like last year. So
yeah.
And I have some of my favorites now. Like some of the favorite books I've ever read are contemporary romances. So
yeah, that's the thing. We're always discovering new stories and genres that we love.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
Also, I pulled up Meg's question, and I think it's caused. I know some people are answering some stuff in there. I'm going to show that comment. I'm trying to decide if I want to major in creative writing, but people are convinced me that I'll never be published, and it's a dumb thing to do, and I should be practical. Any advice? So first off, yes, those people are rude. They can go away. But also, you're talking to two people who did not major in any form of creative writing or English or anything like that. I think that a lot of writers will tell you, or a lot of writers will, some have majored in creative writing, some have gotten like MFAs, and some have done all this. And then there's tons of people who have gotten their degrees in finance, or like are lawyers, or are audio engineers, or something else. You know, it's so if you want to major in creative writing and that's really what you want to do, I say go for it. But it also, like, I mean, you don't have to do that in order to get published or in order to get better at writing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I am old. I feel like this is the old in me coming out. Hold on a second. Not to crush anybody's dreams. I feel like if you're going to major in something, it should be something that, it's because it's so expensive. College is expensive. And I feel like going into any field without there being a large chance of you getting a job in order to pay back those expenses is kind of silly. I wouldn't say it's stupid or dumb or that you shouldn't do it. It's just something that you have to look at realistically and say, am I okay knowing that I'm choosing this career path and knowing that at the other end of all of this schooling and all of this money that I'm putting into schooling, that I may have to get a job in retail or get a job that I don't necessarily love in order to pay back what I have taken out in order to go to school. I know probably 5 people in my teeny tiny town. I know 5 people that have went to school and majored in some kind of like creative arts or liberal arts or something of that sort that have had to go back to college again and major in something else in order to get a job, in order to pay back their loans because they weren't making any money in their creative fields. Mm-hmm. You just have to look at it at what is going to work best for you and what is your decision. But I don't think that there's a right or a wrong answer. It's whatever you want to do. It is whatever works best for you, whatever makes you happy. I think that if you're putting that much money into it, it should be something that makes you happy.
Yes, I think that's, so the first thing, if you're going to put that much money into something, it should make you happy. But the second thing is you do have to consider, like, loans are tough to pay back. And, you know, scholarships are there, but they can be hard to get. There's a lot of stuff. And like some people said, getting a degree in other majors doesn't necessarily guarantee you that you will get a job after. There's a lot to consider. Let's see if there you go. There's a lot to consider when you're going into it. I think I just try and fight back against this is the only way to do it. And that's on both sides. There's no one right way to do it. But also, you know, what I think about now as someone who is, you know, who is writing but wants to make like fiction writing my career, there's several things I wish I had more skills on. Like, I wish I knew more about graphic design. That's something that if you have any interest in, you can both pay the bills with it in the meantime and use it for yourself. I know my business classes have helped me a lot and will help me in the future with stuff. There's a lot of things you can do that, even with your main big goal being to be a fiction writer and like your writing supporting you, other majors can help you make that the dream also. So there's a lot of stuff to consider, and I don't envy you. That's a really tough choice. And it's kind of like, I think when people have kids where it's like everyone wants to tell you their opinion on what it's like to have a child or like how to properly raise someone or whatever. So you're going to have to like filter through stuff. And that's just a tough thing to do. So
I'll never tell anybody that it's dumb and that they shouldn't do it. It's just, you really need to look at both sides of it. Like, me personally, like, my goal was to be an English major. Like, that was what I wanted to do in college. And I ended up not going back after my first year of college because I was like, this is dumb. Like, I can't afford to pay for it. I can't do anything with it. Like, the only thing you can really do with an English degree is like be an English teacher, which I didn't want to be a teacher. Not that being a teacher is not awesome. I just don't like kids. So I did not want to be a teacher. And so that wasn't really an option for me. And so I was like, why am I going into something that I know that I don't want to do any of the jobs that come with it other than writing? And you don't need a degree to write. So why am I putting myself in this much debt in order to obtain a degree that I don't want or need? And I think that's the thing too, is like, you can learn all of this stuff. Like, since then I take classes. Sometimes I do those through like the local college. Sometimes I do them online. Like, you can take classes and learn the things that you want to do without being like a college educated with a master's in writing or whatever. Like, you don't have to have that in order to learn things. You can take like a single class in something. I mean, I have a degree in audio engineering and recording, but I'm not using that either. So like, that was a waste of like 10 grand. So.
And that's what I am not currently using my finance degree either, though I did use it in the past. So it's kind of like a, you know, but I do think the stuff I learned in college was useful for what I'm trying to do now. So
the little bit of time that I spent in college, I don't dislike what I learned.
Yeah.
I took way more math classes than any one person should have to. That was another reason why I was like, I'm out of here, because I had to take like 10 math classes because I tested so low going into math that I had to have like 6 remedial math classes before I got to a math class that counted toward a gen ed degree.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing this much math. I'm out.
You're like, I'm done. I do realize I pulled up Charlotte's thing, but also this is like a quite US centric problem potentially. So, you know, sorry guys.
If you're not in the US, I'm happy for you if you're making these decisions, because it's a lot better for you than it is for us.
Yeah.
I won't say that, you know, it's not bad everywhere, because there are bad things everywhere, but college in the US is a hot mess.
Yeah, it really is. We'll see if anything changes in the future. Wow, well, we have like 20 minutes left of our usual 2 hours. What do we have anything else that anyone wants to talk about NaNoWRIMO related? This is how Jess and I always do. We kind of meander around. We like to meander.
We talk about a lot of things that don't make any sense.
Yes.
And Jessica gets very old and stodgy.
Let's see. I'm double checking if anyone else had some great ideas. I am kind of curious what time y'all find is best for you writing, because I'm seeing people figuring out, like Emily, who's not here, says that for her during NaNoWRIMO, the key is to get up at 5 a.m., which is controversial, and start writing then. I have seen some other people, Lil Falls says, finding my golden hour of the day and using that, currently alert between 7 and 8 a.m. So a lot of that is kind of leaning into, one, what you're able to do, like with Jess and her full-time job and like having time constraints, and then also like what you just like to do. So I see that Disney Trick says, I work in the afternoon, so I'll be writing in the morning. Yeah, so you're kind of working around what your options are.
I lost one. Where'd it go?
My gosh, Krista, I want to do an hour at 4 a.m. and an hour at 4 p.m. It's what works with teaching. Another thing. Let's see. Wake up at 5 and start writing by 6:37. Golden hours are 1 to 6 a.m. Oh my goodness.
No.
Late in the evening. 10 p.m. Oh my gosh. Always write at 2 a.m. when I'm supposed to be asleep. Then I sit with my notebook all day and write whatever comes to mind. Yes. Right in the evenings. Yep. Let's see here. Oh, what a great name. What a great picture. Yes. What are your favorite inspirational places to write?
I literally write at this desk, and it's the only place I write.
I really like working at the library. That is like the peak inspirational location for me. But oftentimes I am writing at the desk or writing in bed. I do like to go to different coffee shops because I like to kind of people watch as I write. Also, yes. So, I'm out. Oh my gosh, Nikki writing on the beach. That would be incredible. I think I just want to move somewhere that has a beach.
I'm not like a travel writer. I don't like to leave my hovel. Right. So
you're like, yeah,
I'm good right here, actually, where I have infinite snacks and drinks and books for inspiration at a bathroom right on the other side of that door. And like, I don't have to go anywhere. And I don't have to like pack all this stuff up and carry it somewhere.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, okay, this is reminding me of a question that we haven't discussed at all. What's in your NaNoWRIMO survival kit? Like, if you had to make, because obviously where you're at right now is basically your survival kit.
My house.
Like, I just need the house. I need my books and I need my desk.
All of this. I am not a person. This is the thing. Like you guys did the videos. I don't even remember who started it. Did Emily start it? I don't know. The videos where it was like choosing which thing you needed and which thing you didn't need.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I don't need anything. Like either a piece of paper or a computer. If I have a piece of paper, I will also need a pen. Pen and paper or a computer. That's all I need. Like I don't have like a specific chair or a specific drink or a specific snack, or like I don't have to have like the perfect pen or the perfect paper, or even this computer. It could be my computer at work, or like I just don't need things. I just
yeah.
If I was traveling somewhere to write, I would need like one of those two things, like either my computer and its accoutrements, like a charger, or a piece of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just not one of those people that needs like
all these things.
I don't need things.
That's something that I realized, like here, I'm going to bring this one up. Mini laptop, TBR, project notebook, pencil, washi tape, coffee, snacks. In my mind, that's actually not even that extensive of a survival kit. But in comparison to Jess, you're like, no, that's like a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you doing with washi tape and coffee? Like, those two things together? I'm making a joke at the and then it was like a different and.
No, I like it.
You dip washi tape in the coffee and eat it like a donut? I'm confused. But like that to me is like, I mean, it's a great list, and I get that. Like that's like, I love washi tape. I love all of those things. Don't get me wrong.
But you're like, you don't need it.
I have candles. Like, I have that one. I have this one. I have this one, and
I think it's
like I have it all here.
I think that's like what I think of like when I'm moving, because I have the desk in my room and then a desk outside in like a different place. And I think of the things that I bring with me and set on the desk. So like y'all will see in vlogs, I bring my computer, I got like my dual monitor, and then I set a cup of coffee down. And so in my head, all of those things were needed because and my chair, because they were worth bringing. Yeah, my chair where I can do this kind of thing and I can spin around and
you can sit in your chair. Yeah. But if you go to a coffee shop, you don't need that chair.
I don't. There is some things, but then if I go to a coffee shop, I need stuff like I have to bring all of my chargers, and I'm more likely to need a notebook and like all these things.
Writer's block.
That's amazing, though.
Writer's block. Writer's block.
Do you just stare at that and like curse at it whenever you do have in quotes writer's block? Or are you just like, you are the worst?
You know, I think it's like to keep me from having writer's block. That's where I keep my writer's block.
Yeah.
So I don't have any because it's over there.
Yeah, it's all. I like that.
I've got trinkets and lights and smellies, and I have more pins than any one person should ever own. And I got Happy Planner stickers going from here to Texas. But like, I don't need any of it. I don't know.
Well, we need a discussion on the definition of need, because technically, I think you are right. Technically, all I need is
this pen. This one in particular. No, any pen, any scrap piece of paper, napkins, tissues. Tissues don't really work great. Napkins are okay, but tissues are real bad. But like, I mean, just paper and a pen or a computer with a keyboard. Yeah. That's it.
See, I like, again, warm socks, fuzzy socks. Fuzzy socks are also what I usually put in my thing because I also get cold feet. But do I need them?
My feet are currently being laid on by a 30-pound dog, so they're not cold.
Oh my God, a little pepperoni.
Yeah, I think Sky's under my desk. At least it feels like Sky.
See, I appreciate this. Technically, of course, Jess, you are right. But the question wasn't technical.
I mean, I get it, but I don't know. Like, I don't even have things that are like, most people have like mood setters. You know what? You've got me, that Disney chick. I need these glasses.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. Because I am blind.
I'm over here like I'm going to stump her.
I need those also. I'm up to 2 things.
Yep.
But like, I get the concept that there are like things that set the mood or things that make you like go into your writer mind, but I try not to make myself have those, because then if I don't have them, but I think a lot of that stems from the fact that I'm just going to say this. I was good in school, so like I didn't pay attention in class, because I was like, I always had A's and everything anyway, and I usually had extra credit points, and I was great at taking tests and whatever. So like I didn't pay attention in class. So I would sit in class and write my fan fiction in class. And I had a notebook and a piece of paper. And so I did that like all through middle school, all through high school, and then a little bit in college. So that has kind of conditioned me to be able to write without needing things.
It is an interesting, because I did the same thing. I would find, I've gone through old notebooks I had during classes where it would be actual notes for the course and then just my story with dialogue and everything. And I'm like, look at me go. It's interesting as I research all of these authors for the I Tried Writing Like stuff, a lot of them will point blank say, you shouldn't need anything to write. You should just butt in chair, write kind of thing. And I think a lot of that is to combat a lot of these writers that I've done so far have, you know, wrote every day and that's just what they did. But then when they tell you about like their routine, they have all of this stuff they really like. So I think it's one of those where it's, you're capable of writing anywhere and you shouldn't condition yourself to like, you have to have this one candle. And if this one candle isn't lit, you can't write kind of thing. Like that's not good. But we all have the stuff we like.
I have candles. I can't tell you when the last time was a lit one.
I'm really bad about that too. I like them. I just don't
think about it.
Light them, yeah.
I have a lot of fur companions.
I know. We do love our fur companions. Also, is your picture a donut?
Yes.
That's a great picture. And also, I want a donut.
Same. I think there's a... Yeah, there she is. Cat.
So cute. Yeah, I'll have to go post a little picture of the pepperoni. He's out that way later. And yeah, also don't feel guilty if you have something that you really like to write with. That is a general. I like that comfort kit rather than survival kit.
I agree with that. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with people who have things that they want. Like, I watched everybody's videos when they were doing like the this or that, whatever.
Yeah,
it wasn't something that I wanted to film because I was like, I'm not, this is where I say I'm an old curmudgeon. Like, I'm just like, I'm old and I'm grumpy and I'm like, I don't need any of that crap. What's wrong with you people? But in reality, if you need those things, like, that's great. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I personally do.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and doing those videos made me realize, because I thought at the time, like I had come up with the options and I was like, oh, some of this is probably not as important as others, like the chair or something. And then I realized what a pain in the butt it was not to have my freaking hair tie. And I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done.
If I had a lot of hair, I would probably feel that way.
Yeah. It's the curse of the long hair, but you know, I appreciate it.
I mean, I like to have a drink. I like to have snacks. I like to have fluffy puppy on my feet. But like,
what is your drink of choice? I was gonna say, except that I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Drink of choice during NaNoWRIMO. Like, what's the go-to? Besides water, we're going to take that one out.
Besides water? Right now, I go through stages. Like, sometimes I'm really into coffee. Sometimes I'm really into Dr. Pepper. Right now, I'm really into Cherry Coke.
Do we have the same taste buds? Okay, I don't really like soda. The only sodas I drink are Dr. Pepper, which I can guzzle, and Cherry Coke.
Yeah. Like, my two favorites. And right now, Dr. Pepper is, like, kind of weird for me. I think I was, like, in a Dr. Pepper phase, and, like, it's kind of gone. And now I'm in the Cherry Coke phase, and I'm drinking it way more than anyone ever should.
Yeah. Also, I'm dying at the blood of my enemies.
You know what? That actually is something that I do need.
There we go. We found the source, the survival kit for Jess. She's a ghost, and she also needs the blood of her enemies.
That's how I continue this solid existence.
Yeah.
As a dead person. Quit licking my toes, weirdo.
See, that's the thing. As a male with a pretty large fringe, I tend to put my hair up behind my headphones. That's the thing. Half of the reason I ever have sunglasses on inside is because I've done this and I just need it to be off my face.
I don't have any hair.
but it's purple.
It's not just short. Like this is literally all of my hair on the side of my head. Like, I just don't have hair. My hair is very thin and fine. And so it's just like, I have no hair. Like, my ponytail is as big around as my pinky.
See, and this is why I keep my hair long, because it's naturally straight, but it's also a lot because I have all the hair behind me too, right? And so if I have it short like I've done before, like if I had it your length, it goes like this, and I have a triangle for a head, and it's not a good, it doesn't make me happy, so I just...
So it's just better to stay away from that.
It is.
My hair is purple. I have purple hairs.
I pulled up the question at one point, other than Willie's saying Dr. Pepper's the lifeblood of all Texans. True that. People were asking for authortuber recommendations, smaller authortubers that people are binging or have been like really enjoying. Again, Jess and I have some plans for the next couple Authortube chats. So we might be discussing some of this, but since we have 5 minutes left, I did want to point out some people I saw answering the question. So, oh, maybe that's what the question was. Where did I find this? Anyways, there's a lot of good options. So if y'all want to talk about your faves, now's a great time. Also, tea.
Always tea. I'm weird. I like sweet tea, but I like it cold. I'm not really a hot tea drinker, but that's just me.
I see, again, gonna throw out the Texan here. Give me that sweet tea cold. Give me other teas hot. Like, I like myself a mint tea. I like a honey black tea hot. But like, if I want just the sweet, sweet Texas tea, I want it cold.
It's one of those weird things that Ohio is like strangely southern. I don't know why, but
y'all are a weird place. Yeah,
it's a real weird place. Like, we say sir and ma'am, and we are very polite, and we drink the sweet tea. And I don't understand how Ohio is like in the Midwest, but it's really a southern state. I don't know how we got here.
It is an interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of similarities here. Wine with ice. I have a lot of thoughts via infinity. But I'm someone who prefers red wine, and red wine I like to be more room temperature-y.
I don't drink wine.
You're like, pass on the wine. I'm over here.
I don't drink alcohol at all. So it's not my thing. It's not. I think I have like, I call it, I say I have super taste buds, and they just don't like alcohol at all.
To be fair, much like coffee for me, alcohol completely was like a learned love. Like, it took years of drinking some things here and there to find what I liked. So like, even other like gin, anything made with gin, I'm a huge pass. Oh my gosh, thank you, Erica. Sorry, I saw something pop up. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, speaking of things popping up, I just had like random things opening on my computer, and I don't know what happened. I'm safe now.
See, look at that. Phoebe also doesn't drink. There's a lot of people who are just not, and I feel like my family's split, where half of them, this like might be another Texan thing, half of them big drinkers, half of them don't drink for a variety of reasons. So some people like it, some have had issues with it, and it's just a whole blended mess.
I am that weirdo that can taste alcohol in food. Like, even though it burns out, like, I know theoretically that like the alcohol has burnt out, but you can make something with alcohol in it, and even if I don't know it's there, I can taste it.
Ooh, I love stuff soaked in wine. Just give it a little, but I could see why if you don't like it, that would be nasty, because you can't, at least the wine ones, I'm always like, oh, I could taste the wine in this. So.
Yeah, I have friends that I have a friend that was like, oh, I'm going to make like this. That's a weird drink.
It sounds amazing. Okay.
Like, that's the thing is, like, it sounds great, but I would hate it.
But you're like, no. Yeah.
I always try. Like, if it's something new, if like my friends are making some kind of a new drink, or I have friends that spend a lot of time like in Tennessee, which is like the wine capital of the United States. And like, they'll bring back different flavors of wines and stuff. And I'll always try stuff, but it's just like, nothing has worked yet. So
yeah, it's fine. It's one of those things that it's always like, the thing that I always try and share that's controversial, and I had people questioning me when I was younger because, you know, you want to pick on someone for something. I don't like oranges. I think they're gross. I don't like the taste. And I was on the tennis team and everyone would have oranges all the time. I like the smell of oranges, but it's kind of one of those things we all have particular, like, that we're just out on.
I liked oranges as a kid, but like as an adult, it was like, they're so weird because it's like you bite into it and there's like, there's nothing there. They're weird.
I like the little, in Ohio, do y'all have the little cuties? They're like the clementines, but it's usually the cuties. I do like those, but I hate oranges. I don't like orange juice. I don't like anything orange flavored, but the cuties I'm okay with.
Well, because it's technically a tangerine, so it's technically a different fruit.
Different, yeah.
It's a different fruit.
Oh, look at this, Shalina. The first winery in the United States to become commercially successful was founded in Cincinnati. Look at that, Jess.
Well, I guess I should like alcohol more then.
Like,
I sure don't, but I mean, like, most people in my family drink. I have a lot of alcoholics in my family, so I feel like God was like, you do not need to be an alcoholic. You should hate the taste of alcohol. And I'm like, that's great. So
I feel like it's a perfect combo. Yes.
It worked out for me.
Oh, okay. I'm a huge fan of the Great British Baking Show, or GBBO. Anytime they make orange chocolate stuff, I love watching it, but I just sit here and I'm like, I'm out. Like, I would not be, why would you do this to chocolate? That's how I feel. See, look at that. Everyone's into the oranges. Oh, that's interesting, Mary.
Like a minute or so ago, as we're talking about drinking and writing, Pages and Pen says I can't drink and write. Kate can drink and write.
It's debatable how well it is. I mean, but I often do drink with I often do write with a glass of wine, just like normally. So I do see that. That's really funny.
Kate's good at that.
Yeah.
I can drink coffee and write. That's all I got.
What's GCBO?
Great Canadian Bake Off, duh. I have no idea. What was the country that started with me? Oh, golly.
I rewatch the Great British Baking Show all the time. It never gets less like heartwarming and wonderful, even when I know the outcome. Okay, what the heck? Shalene, you were right. Shalene, how do I find, I'm legit, I will go and find, because I bet it's also just as good. Because I was like, if it comes to America, we're somehow going to ruin it. You know, like it's not going to be the same or wonderful.
That was like the 12-year-old niece in me coming out. Duh.
Oh my God. Shalina, you might have just made the rest of my weeks until NaNoWRIMO hits. I'm going to binge the Great Canadian Baking Show if I can find it. Oh my God.
No, don't do it. You're horrible. God love you.
So pumped. Okay. Oh my gosh. Tandra, it did not turn out well. I'm still debating on trying again, but me and maps, it was a fail. If you saw the video, for the record, I condensed that down. I struggled with maps for over 2 hours the day that I filmed that. And I want you to know it was bad. So, but it was fun. So it's like one of those things. I think I'm going to try it again because a lot of people told me that what I was trying to do was more city block-ish, and I could maybe try it in like The Sims. And I was like, that's genius. What have I been doing? So I might try a couple things there. And then I'm debating trying it again when I have the Meridian maps that I want to actually make maps for, because there's multiple realms. So and me and maps are not done yet, but they did not get off to a good start.
I haven't tried. I have like I have a map that continuously changes. Like it used to start. It had like there used to be like two sides. Like there was an evil side and a good side. I'm like, you're an idiot. And so my map has evolved over time, but it's just a picture.
I like that though. Would you ever share the map that you have?
Sure, I don't care. I'm a map sharer. I've had to like come up with different ways to make things. High fantasy is so weird because like you want stuff to happen in like a timely manner so everything's not slow, but to be realistic there has to be space in between these groups of people. So you can't get somewhere in 20 minutes.
Yes.
You're on foot. Like, calm down.
Yes. Right.
But it's really hard. I don't like it. It's so hard.
Oh man. Well, 2 hours and 4 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Jess.
Hanging out. Since we have the date for the next chat, somewhere, do you want to go ahead and announce our next topic and our next chat date? I'm looking for it right now because God knows I don't remember.
Oh, I have. It's on the 10th, according to what I wrote down. Does that sound right?
Yes. Authortube Chat, November 10th.
Authortube Chat, November 10th on Jess's channel. And if I am remembering correctly, we are doing some stuff that we're thankful for.
Things we're thankful for. People, things that help us write. We kind of felt like that would be good for NaNoWRIMO. Maybe do some shout outs for some people that are like doing live sprints during the month or videos that we're watching that are help keep us motivated. Things like that.
Covered.
If you guys have a channel and you want us to check you out, make sure you let us know what it is, because we have a hard time keeping up with everybody. It's the community is growing so quick. It's so hard to keep up with everyone.
Put it in the comments of the video rather
actual
than
comment versus chat.
Actual comment. That way we can find it later because the chat won't stick around in the same way. So yeah, let us know. We are happy to check more people out. We love doing it. And yeah, so that will be the next chat. It will be on Jess's channel. I will update this video to actually include the link to her channel. If you
loser.
Search Jessica Williamson, I know I'm the worst. So all right, thank you guys so much. I'm going to hit end broadcast now and we will see y'all all then. Bye.